Alright guys, I'm back. So today I wanted to talk about my decision to not run wad cards in the 4570. Primarily because I did a little bit of research, and what I had found was a lot of people that use wad cards end up possibly experiencing chamber ringing. And what chamber ringing is say you have too much airspace in a cartridge. When the powder burns, if it's a full burn, what it does is it creates like a pressure front, and what that does is when it hits the base of the bullet, it can act like the bullet's an obstruction and expand the base of the bullet, causing it to cork the bullet where it's at, and essentially it could cause like a barrel bulge or some kind of obstruction like detonation, I'll call it. I don't know if that's a correct term, but that's what I'll call it. So I had noticed someone had mentioned, or two people actually had mentioned, that there was a writer, and I can't for the life of me remember his name. I did read the document where he had been able to consistently reproduce chamber ringing with a specific load. I don't remember what cartridge it was in or not. I read this a couple weeks ago, and I'm just now getting around to making this video. But that was what ultimately determined that I was not going to use wad cards or powders in 4570 that would not efficiently burn and had the possibility to cause that flame front that would hit the back of the bullet or hit something in the cartridge that could cause an obstruction like detonation. It's very uncommon to see chamber ringing, but you know, that's a $700 rifle, and I don't think I have the knowledge to know what is or is not the right powder at this point. I'm not that intelligent with burn rates or temperature sensitivity, position sensitivity, fillers. All there's so many variables to loading a decent cartridge that I still have not learned. So at this point, I think I need to sit back and try, if I want to use the wad cutters, trying to do more research and see if there has been any published load data that could be useful. Maybe in 15-20 years, when I learn everything about these powders and I know a little bit more, I'll be able to do it without that. But at this point, I think it's safe to say that I need to think smart about what I'm doing and not rush into it just because I want to shoot it like I did. I got very lucky and I didn't cause an issue, but it could have very easily gone the other way, and the first couple shots I put out of that rifle could have ruined it. So I've been I've been messaging back and forth one of my viewers about quick loads, and I've been trying to procure my own version of it. It's like $153. I've been trying to sell off some of my reloading stuff that I don't use anymore so I could purchase it, because like I said, I don't know powders that well, and powders, primers, like the different components and how they can be assembled makes a huge difference as far as pressures and flame fronts and burn rates and as far as everything. There's a lot to learn, and I want to learn it. I just don't have anyone to teach it to me. Or at least not, I don't have anyone that could sit right here, right next to me at the bench or at a table with me that could kind of briefly explain stuff to me. So it'd be nice to have a program like that so I can get a general idea. I'm sure if something like that program could show me numbers, I could find the differences in those numbers and learn the differences in the powders. Just like, okay, say you look at a car. I'm a mechanic. Say you look at a car and you go, okay, well, this has this motor and this has that motor. The difference is, you know, this one has VVT and it's a belt timing system. It uses oil tensioners instead of spring-loaded tensioners, and you know, it doesn't have like a kinetic phaser. It uses oil-driven phasers. There's differences that I've learned to know by looking at different things in vehicles. You can pick apart the differences in them because you choose to learn that stuff. If I was given data for those powders, I might be able to learn what the real difference in the powder is as far as burn rate, temperature sensitivity, position sensitivity, effective fill capacities, stuff like that. Which in 4570 with a giant case like this, I think fill capacity means a lot. You get a separate flame front going in here before it starts moving that bullet. I think you're just asking for problems, in my opinion. I could be wrong on that subject, but that's I seriously think, especially with a bullet of this weight, of a 325 grainer, if you do not get this bullet moving out of the bore and you allow flame front to hit the back of this bullet in a lead that's fairly soft, I think you're asking for trouble, in my opinion. As far as the wad cutters, they're a little bit lighter, so they might have less uncorking pressure. I'm not exactly positive how that works. And when I say uncorking, I mean when the bullet actually starts moving in the brass and the pressure generated in the case starts either gets to its max and starts decreasing as the bullet moves, or it gets to its max and moves the bullet. And I don't know, some powders, they start burning and move the bullet, they still increase in pressure as the bullet moves. There's a lot of different things. I'd love to learn it because honestly I think it would be nice to know this stuff, because pressures generated and burn rates and time, like how long a powder burns, mean a lot as far as velocity, standard deviations, and all the numbers that people know to look at for a good load. That stuff I haven't learned yet, and I'm very interested to learn it. It's just a lot of work to learn it on your own. Luckily, there's people on YouTube, but I'm kind of a real technical geek about that stuff, and I like to know all the little details. Sometimes I get way too far into it, just like I do with cars. Get way too far into it, but I just like knowing it. Now, that's why I wasn't using the wad cards in this. Right now, I have a bunch of these 325s loaded, because I don't want to use the wad cutters until I find a decent powder. I was told try bullseye starting at like 3 to 3.5 grains or something like that, and I put 3.5 or 3 to 6 grains. I'm sorry, starting at 3, working up to 6, watching for signs of an issue. So I just put 6 grains in a case to see what capacity it looked like it was, and it barely sprinkled on the bottom, so I'm not really comfortable doing that right now. But aside from that, I'm still trying to figure out a decent powder on the wad cutters. I was going to do maybe Trail Boss. Case capacity, like a full topped off case of Trail Boss, is 23.5 grains. I actually just did it because I did a video before this about this and I didn't like how it turned out, so I'm redoing it. It's 23.5 grains, and I don't have any data on Trail Boss at all. I don't know what the burn rate is. I don't know what the effective case capacity is for a decent burn rate. All I know is I need to figure that stuff out. You know, I had talked to, where did that thing go? I had talked to one of my viewers who had quick loads, and I mentioned I was going to get some measurements for him as far as the bullet goes, to see if he could plug that into quick loads for me. So real quick while we're here, so overall height of the bullet is 403. That worked out well. 403. Let's see, you can see that 403. And then from crimp groove to the base, see if I can do this. This is hard to do on camera, man. I don't know how you guys do this stuff. So crimp groove, I'm literally just sticking the tip of the measuring device into that groove and eyeballing the bottom. We'll call that 336, 35. That's called 345 thousandths. And usually when I seat these, they get seated to the crimp groove. I know you've seen them in videos before. Let me see if I can dig one out here real quick. Don't think I'm going to get that lucky. I was hoping to just reach in here. Nah. I know there's some in this bucket, but I'm not going to get that lucky. They usually get seated to that crimp groove, so just the tip of the wad cutter, like any normal, well, what I think is normal wad cutter, just that the head of it right here is sticking up, that's all. What else? Oh, finally found someone to order my dream rifle. So, hopefully that'll be here and made New Jersey compliant. I think he said by Tuesday or Wednesday he should have it and have it compliantized, which is, whatever. So I went ahead and I loaded up some rounds, aim cast with H322. Started light. These are, I don't remember if these are gas check or not. No gas check. So I'm gonna try these out. I got 10 of 3 different loads to see how they run. I know 7.62x39 is dirt cheap and steel cased. I want to do this because I want to find a load for a semi-automatic rifle, and then I would like to get a CZ527 in 7.62x39 also as a matching pair to the semi-automatic rifle, so I can load for, because I've always wanted a bolt gun, and I was going to do one in 223, but I want 30 caliber. I really want 30 caliber. It does get to be a little more expensive, but it's nice because primers I can use the same as 4570. A lot of stuff's usable. As far as powders and primers go, I can use the same stuff. I need to get my hands on 4759 SR. No, it's in the book. I need to get my hands on different powders. I just got to find what works and what doesn't. I thought about honestly getting out of 4570 because even hand loading, these are costing me about $1/4 a shot. And it's fun. It's extremely fun to shoot. I love that rifle. I really enjoy it a lot. The problem is we don't have any elephants in New Jersey. So I really, well, that, and you can't use a 45 caliber rifle, centerfire rifle, to hunt in New Jersey. Muzzle loader, I think you can use 50 caliber, I think. Shotgun you can use. 45 caliber centerfire rifle, I do not believe you can use hunting in New Jersey. They'd be great for deer, but you can't use them in New Jersey. And I'm stuck here because my wife doesn't want to move for now. If that ever changes, trust me, I'm out of here. I am 100% out of this state. As soon as she says let's go, I'm going. Everything that's on this desk right here is going in the back of my truck. I'm grabbing my clothes, my dogs, and I am out. But until that time, I'm stuck here. So, thought about selling the 4570 to help fund other projects like the 527 and 7.62x39 and my new rifle. But we'll see how that works out. I do like the 4570, but it is expensive to shoot. Even reloading it is expensive to shoot. And it just doesn't have many uses for me at this time. I like to justify everything I buy, so if I buy something, it has to have a very good intended use. Otherwise, it's me pissing away money. Just like the bike. The bike's been sitting outside for 6 months now. So that's me, spending $300 a month on something that's sitting in my shed, taking up space, rotting away. If I don't use stuff, I don't like to have it hanging around. So, but we'll see how everything goes. I don't know. We'll see how everything goes. If you guys have any ideas on these wad cutters, or if you've ever done 7.62x39, I know Elvis Ammo is doing a video on it, or he started doing video series on it for the AK-47, and I'm very interested to see if he puts out a video soon on that. Because I'm pretty much on the same track he is, so I'd love to see where he's at with everything, what he's casting, what powders he's using, if he's powder coating, just overall everything in general. Hopefully I'll see something soon, but you know, we're all busy, we all gotta work, so we'll see what happens. If you guys have anything to add to this that you think could be useful, for anything I'm talking about, 4570, 7.62x39, getting out of Jersey, anything, please do not hesitate to comment or respond or anything. I'd love to hear people's opinions. It would be nice. So have a good one, guys.